How's it going, guys? It's Jay and it's D here. My name's Daniel.
My name's James.
This is King James and I go by Hyde. And welcome to our review over the 1978 Halloween. And today we'll be talking about everything from the music to the actors and everything from the very first movie. We're not going to continuation off that. We might talk a little bit about the characters after it, but we're going to stick with what we have of the information from this one and not go off to the second one and stuff until later on, which will be our next video. Either that or our top 5 most unappreciated movies. And let's get started.
That actually gives me an idea. On October 31st, we'll do the review on the new Halloween, the one that came out last year.
Yeah, the very end of this month, on Halloween night, me, James, maybe Hunter, maybe Anthony too. We can get Anthony to watch it with us, and we'll all do a review together.
Yeah, that sounds good. And maybe we could also do like a live stream on Friday 13th or Dead by Daylight or something.
Yeah, do our first little gaming little thing because it's a little hard to do it right now, but we'll see what we can do until then.
Yeah.
About the gaming part, which we are planning on playing like World War Z and stuff, but now let's talk about Halloween 1978. Alright, it's a movie that came out, in 1978. From what I read, it was November 22nd, I believe, is what it told me. It made $70 million, right?
Yeah, $70 million. Yeah.
In the box office, which is phenomenal for a independent movie at the time. You know, it was one of the most successful independent movies to ever be made. And, the director, John Carpenter, is that what he said?
Yeah.
He did a lot for that movie. He worked really hard for it.
Him and his wife at the time did the script and he composed all the music and shit. He did a lot.
What was his wife?
At the time, she helped too with the script and stuff.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
But
she was pretty fucking fun.
the movie made about the budget for the whole movie was about $300K from what I saw, which
it's a lot more fucking money than what we don't fucking have.
Yeah, we're a little bit on the cheap broke side than
we in the fucking broke trap house. We ain't in the most expensive trap house. This is
we're in the homeless trap house.
I mean, this is like below homeless. This is like fucking.
This is bad. But I think my birthday coming up, we should be good. We even have more plans for the studio because this is more than just our channel. This is also where we record our music and everything. So very soon, this place that we're sitting in right now will be a lot different. Coming by 31st, I'd say. End of this month, this place should be jam-packed with a bunch of stuff.
Goddamn right, Hyde.
Hell yeah, King.
That was so fucking stupid. It sounds weird when we do it.
But, yeah. So the movie, in my opinion, was more built off trying to kind of freak you out. Because it tried to build a lot of suspense through the whole movie. It wasn't much horror with like killing and stuff. It was more of a, what can I do to give the idea of putting chills down your back? And all the stuff that we seen that was suspenseful and stuff, other than the teleportation powers, was something that could happen in real life. But our problem with the movie is the Gabe.
The Gabe.
Yeah, he goes by the Gabe. The Gabe. Yeah,
He's one interesting fella.
Yeah, he's the true interesting fella. But I don't know what it was, but like that car scene when he was driving by and he looked at them, I was like, oh god.
It was just instant, the Gabe. It
was. And it wasn't like the good version either. It was the like, where's my memes and stuff. But overall, the movie was okay. Acting wise, I'm upset because I didn't realize how less the doctor guy, right? He was the doctor, wasn't in the movie, and the dude, like, through the whole series, plays phenomenal until, well, he dies. But he's one of my favorite actors from the Halloween series. And you got the chick you kept talking about.
Yeah, Laurie Strode, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I feel like the reason why it has the rating it does is because the last, like, 20 fucking minutes of her screaming and just crying and running and shit, like, makes the movie what it is. Like, her acting was very phenomenal.
Yeah, especially when she finds all the people that died. Like, I saw that scene really cool when she was running around and everything she opened. It was like, oh my god, why? And she would, like, freak out and scream. I mean, everywhere she turned around, there was, like, bodies flopping out.
Yeah, I mean,
and the whole movie just didn't feel suspenseful until that scene when you could see Michael's half of his face. Like,
yeah.
I felt a little like, oh my god, like,
we about to get fucked in the ass, boy. That's how we felt.
Yeah, it was anal all day, anal domination going down there. But what would be your rating for everything through the movie, through the music, the acting? You know, through the whole movie, there was a lot of good things, a lot of bad things, but at the end of the day, I think the acting wasn't bad. It was actually pretty good. The music choices, I loved.
I thought, I feel that same way too. Like, the music that they had, and like they had a lot of good music, and like the shit that John Carpenter made, composed and shit was phenomenal. Like, when I hear that, I instantly think, Michael Myers and Halloween.
Yeah, like, there's nothing else you think of when you hear that. Like, as soon as you hear that, it's like, oh shit, it's about to go down.
Shit, I'm gonna get fucked again.
Yeah, but I was just, I would like to see Michael Myers. Like, I just want to see a versus movie with him. Like, him versus, like, we got Freddy versus Jason. That's the biggest versus movie I think we've gotten. But I don't know much about the versus series, so I don't know anybody else that's fought. But, like, big name wise, that's the only one I could think of. Like, we never seen Chucky fight Leprechaun. Like, come on.
That'd be fucking very interesting.
I think that would be an easy fight for Leprechaun because of where he has the magical powers. But, I mean, that would be very cheesy.
You fucking
I'm talking about the original, not the whatever. Well, the original doll, not.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, not that new Chucky.
Yeah, I don't think he would work good in the movie. I think original, Charles.
Leroy.
Yeah, Leroy would be beautiful for the movie.
Man, we're supposed to be talking about Halloween right now.
Yeah, but I mean, Michael Myers it keys into that because, I mean, I think he should have a movie. Like, he should fight somebody, but I don't know who he would fight. But in the 1978 movie, I hope he fight nobody because he was a little scary cat, honestly, until, last 30 minutes of the movie. And that's when he started, that huge killing spree. I think the coolest death was, honestly, when he came in with the little ghost outfit, because I thought that was really funny. And then he, choked the girl out while she was on the phone.
Well, you just left because you thought the fucking game.
Yeah, I did. But I thought it was creative, too.
I mean, it was. I mean, especially for that time, it was definitely, obviously creative because nobody's done that.
Yeah, and I think that's a big key to it. Because, with all that suspense and everything, you're not used to that at that time. 1978. The most you got, I think, was Exorcist, right? I think
Exorcist was out there
before
Carrie was out there before him.
But we never got that true suspense.
You never really got,
I mean, you had stuff but Dracula and all that wasn't suspenseful. It was a straight up just good natural movie that felt nice. But Halloween came in as if I was a person in 1978 and I was like, yo, this movie's coming out, let's go watch it, I honestly would kind of get shivers because of all the suspense. Because,
exactly. interrupt you again. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. Please love me. It was like he said, shit, what the fuck you said?
I was saying, like, it's 1978.
Okay, now I got it. Okay, I'm ready now. So, like you said, I would feel that way too. Because, I mean, in 1978, there was no movies like Halloween. It was on its own. You know, like, especially the way the story was and everything, like, you never had somebody like that because, I mean, that was, like, the first, like, babysitter type movie.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't even think about that
Yeah.
either. That was the first actual type of, like, and babysitter type of horror flick.
And see, it was supposed to be called, like, babysitter, like, killer.
Babysitter slasher. And then wasn't Michael supposed to be called, like, The Shape?
I think he was supposed to be called The Shape the whole time, but I'm not even for sure.
But Michael kind of came up.
Yeah.
See, the Halloween series wasn't even, from what I've heard, I heard that it wasn't supposed to be about Michael. It just happened to be about him.
Yeah.
It was actually supposed to be like the third movie that came out. I don't remember what year. But I think when we searched it up, it was like 1981.
I feel like Halloween 3 came out either, I'd say 83, I would say.
83, probably. I'm not 100%. We'll eventually, when we watch it, we'll know. But, like, what I read and heard about, I heard that's how the story was supposed to go, which I think would be an intriguing version. You know, it was supposed to be like a Halloween storyteller, like a Trick or Treat, like that you get your 3 stories, and Trick or Treat did a phenomenal job, and I think with John Carpenter, he would have did a great job with it. But I'm kind of glad they went with the Michael's side because, I mean, if they didn't, I don't think John would be as big as he is.
And the movie series itself wouldn't be as big as it is.
Yeah, and plus we would have never got the famous mask. I mean, we would have it in stores, but nobody would think, oh, that's Michael Myers. You know, we would just think it's some white mask with hair.
I mean, and like when you just bring up Halloween 3, like the only reason why people hate on that movie is because Michael was not like it's not him. You know,
there's no Michael.
It's a different story. It's a different everything. But if it's a movie on its own, like it would be a great movie. Like to me, I still think it's, you know, like when I was a kid, I didn't like the movie because it didn't have Michael Myers.
Yeah, same here. But looking back at it and looking more into it, it's like it's very interesting to say.
It's like because like the older you get, the more you understand things, the more you comprehend, you
more wise,
and you honestly appreciate things a lot more, and you can understand like certain aspects that you couldn't understand when you was a kid because you were fucking a retard when you were a fucking kid, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like the older we are getting, we're like appreciating the movies for what it is, and like we get a better understanding of what they're trying to go for and what they're trying to achieve with, you know, their movie that they're making.
Yeah. But I mean, Halloween did amazing.
Yes.
The series did great. I'm not the biggest Michael fan.
I ain't either.
I only watch Michael Myers when it's this time of the year or if a new movie comes out. If the new movie comes out, I'm like, let's go right for it. When I saw the trailer for the new movie, I said, I'm not watching it. I ended up watching
That's
it.
how I loved it. Like, I was like, because when I seen the trailer, I was like,
It didn't look good.
when I seen Laurie Strode shooting that fucking shotgun shot, I was like, I'm not really feeling it. But then I was like, no, I'm gonna watch it because we haven't got
Curiosity.
because we haven't had a fucking slasher in fucking years, and all he's been getting is fucking paranormal shit. You know.
See, that's the part of why we're coming up with a movie of our own that's based off of slasher because we're sick and tired of getting the same stuff every year. Same stuff. Conjuring 3 comes out next year. Guess what? I don't care. Conjuring 1 was good. Conjuring 2 is, I don't know. It had like 2 good scenes. It had the Crooked Man that I enjoyed. But about that, other than that, the movie was not good. But Conjuring 1, amazing. Insidious 1, great. But after that, it's like the Babadook, that's okay. But then it's like, after that, it's like, where's slashers? And if it's a slasher movie, it's a B movie that's not good. Like, if you get a B movie, work your tail on it. Like, I mean, you can look at any B movie in history that is good. Like, we can look at Jaws. I think Jaws, the first one, was a B movie.
It probably could have been. I honestly don't know.
Yeah, Jaws series is a B movie now that I think about it, because that's what it's been, I think it was rated as or something. And look at that film. Well, the first movie, it's shot out of nowhere. Halloween was just lucky to have 300,000. I wish we had 300,000 because I mean we could make a Michael Myers point too.
Man, we would be making a hell of a movie if we
Yeah.
had that money. But I feel like our movie's still gonna be good though.
Yeah, it will. But 1978, Michael Myers, Halloween. What's your rating for the whole movie and everything out of 10?
I mean, when I was a kid, I would say maybe like an 8 or 9.
Yeah, because then at that time you were more scared of the suspense.
But now, I mean, it's not a bad film. It's just, I would say maybe a 7, and that's just because of Laurie Strode, her acting, and because of Donald Pleasance, Dr. Loomis, the guy.
Which was underused.
He was underused, and see that's another reason why my rating's kind of down is because all the characters that were like really good on acting wise were underused in the movie. But I can understand why. But at the same time, that's why I kind of prefer the second one over the first one because the characters that didn't get utilized that much got utilized a lot better in the second one.
Even though the person that made the first one really good, I think isn't that when she died in a really shitty way in the second one?
See, Laurie, she didn't die in the second one. She didn't die until Resurrection, which was a fucking stupid fucking movie. Busta Rhymes. Yo, it's Busta Rhymes, baby. Like, why the fuck is he in the fucking horror movie? That's so fucking stupid. That's like having fucking 50 Cent in a fucking horror movie.
Having Ice Cube and Kevin Hart together.
No.
I mean, they only work in like Haunted House and Scary Movie, like funny, jokey movies. But then they got put in an actual horror movie and it was god awful. It made me so mad. Because I mean, I expect a new Halloween. Like, the expectations get higher and higher the more movies you make.
Yeah, I will agree with you.
Because I mean, the first one, it's like, your expectations is like, okay, I've seen this advertised everywhere. I have a pretty high, interest. So you go watch it, and let's say, would be a good movie for a time era. Okay, let's say the first Friday the 13th. It just came out. Everybody wants to go see it. Everybody was like, oh my God, that was a phenomenal movie for for their time. It was a phenomenal movie. And in my opinion, in this era, I still think the Friday the 13th series is a phenomenal movie because it's a slasher that was also something nobody has seen before.
See, it's like movies like Friday the 13th, Halloween, Freddy. Shit. Fucking, like, they just...
Psycho.
Like, all these series you can still watch and still enjoy. Like, you can still appreciate the movie. Like, it's like they're never... Like, it could be, like, 2080 and you'll still like the fucking movie because it's still going to be good.
Yeah.
Like, Paranormal Activity and shit, I'm not going to give a fuck about that shit in 30 years.
I don't even remember it.
Like, I kind of remember it.
I remember the dog, and that's about it. The
Whoa,
dog.
nigga. That's all I remember. I don't remember much.
But, like, okay, let's think. Halloween 1978.
I gotta make a text real quick.
That was... It had to be a shocker for that time. Maybe. Because there was... When did Psycho come out around that time?
Psycho was 1962, I think.
Yeah, so they kind of had a feel for it, but they didn't have the feel for the paranormal type of slasher. Because isn't Michael Myers like, oh, the stars are this constellation or this way?
Pretty much, yes. Pretty much.
Yeah, he's like immortal and everything.
Yeah, because it's stupid fucking porn thing. Like, honestly, like...
I thought that was pretty dumb. But, like, at the same time, it's like, it's okay. It gives him more of a reason to be, indestructible instead of just saying, I'm Michael Myers.
To me, the whole porn thing is just because they're just running out of ideas of what to do with him.
I mean, you gotta do something.
I mean, I understand because that's basically what you've been saying, like earlier, like where you're saying, like the more movies you make, the expectations and like, so honestly, you run out of ideas eventually with a character after so many movies is done. It's like really hard to keep making them seem refreshing and not boring and just same old shit. You know.
But I mean, the movie was played in a really nice town. Like, what was the town called?
Haddonfield, Illinois.
Really, it was in Illinois.
That's what it said.
I didn't know
I
that.
don't know if it was really.
Maybe I wasn't.
It's probably in
attention.
it's probably in like fucking Chicago or something.
Probably.
We in Texas, nigga. No, it's Kentucky.
But I mean the city was really nice. Even the little kids that acted in the movie weren't bad. They were actually pretty good.
I thought they were really good too. Like I honestly thought like the kids did a really good job.
Yeah, very talented for their age.
Yeah.
That's like talking about Andy from Chucky. It's like, oh my god, these kids are like 7 and 8, maybe younger, and they're able to perform this good.
Getting hella pussy.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's just crazy to see that. Because it's like, you see these kids and you're like, this is not going to be good at first. And then it's like you watch and you're like, oh my god, this is a masterpiece. Because then, I remember my first time watching little kids act, it was in Child's Play 1. And I remember the next day, I was a little kid, I was like, I'm going to be an actor too. It didn't go well.
Nah. Now you're sitting in my crack house.
Yeah. But we are coming up with a movie, so I have my second chance, baby.
Man.
But I'm excited for that. But back to this point, Halloween 1978. What's the music?
Like rating for the music, I would say a 10 out of 10, maybe beyond a 10.
I'll give it 10 out of 10. Built really good suspense, better than looking at Michael Myers. The music was like, oh my god, where's he gonna come from? What's gonna happen? You know, you had that, and plus, Don't Fear the Reaper.
Yeah, that was in there. I was like, fuck yeah, bro.
Blue Oyster.
I mean, I've seen this movie, multiple times, but like the last time I watched this was probably when I was like 14, maybe, 15. It's been a while, so.
It's been a while since I've seen it too.
Honestly, same. That probably goes for Jason and all that shit. Like, I just don't watch that stuff that much anymore. Like, I like it still, but like, I just don't even watch movies that much anymore.
Yeah. We watched a lot of movies together though.
Yeah,
but the last time I watched Jason was a year ago because I wanted to rewatch Jason X. That was the last actual, besides like Ash, if you want to. That's kind of paranormal / a slasher, I
guess, yeah.
Kind of heroic type of movie, which is arguably one of my favorite movies of all time. The second one and the third one. But, I mean, the movie world would have been a lot different without Halloween. Halloween with Michael Myers in 1978. I don't think we would have gotten
Jason,
Freddy. I mean, we had a chance at getting them, but the risk is low.
I mean, honestly, Halloween came out in 1978. Jason, all that shit came out in
1988. No.
Well, 80. Not 88.
No, I thought it came out in 1980.
Jason came out. 1980 is when Jason came out. Freddy was probably like 84 or close.
Okay, so I'm thinking of Freddy.
Yeah, you got Freddy up your ass right now.
I don't know. I thought Jason and Freddy were like the later on ones.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, without Halloween and Michael Myers,
there probably would be no Jason. There's a possibility, but
yeah, because you still have stuff like Psycho and stuff, but
I feel like it's very low.
Yeah, we wouldn't get the mother-loving, demonic demon we got that I fell deeply in love with when I was like 5 years old.
He took my virginity.
Same. That was actually the first ever horror movie I ever watched.
My first one was probably, I think, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I don't remember.
Mine was that and The Exorcist.
I
watched The Exorcist when I was 4.
Yeah, he was like,
I was crying.
He was like 4 and 5, 6 years old watching this shit. We shouldn't have been watching it because it's not a good age to watch it.
We were not 13 yet.
We wasn't old enough.
But it helped us grow to, be the people we are. Like, we're able to analyze movies really well because of it. Like horror movies. Like, I can't watch. I'm not a huge action fan unless it's Godzilla, baby. I love me some Godzilla, but other than that, I'm not a huge superhero fan. Only thing I ever liked about superheroes is like comic books. But at the end of the day, horror is my life. Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, Leatherface. They're.
Just put him at number one, nigga. Put him at number one.
But I think, even though at this day and age, if somebody was to make a movie like Halloween 1978, it would not do it. It would do okay. I think it would make good box office money. But rating-wise, I don't know how it would do. It would depend on the acting. Because that's how I felt about 1978 Halloween, was the whole movie was dependent on how well everybody acted along the movie. Because Michael, he was... I don't know who played Michael Myers.
Nick Castle.
Oh,
that was
how he said that.
Yeah, he was the original. Now you're getting my dementia back. Oh, you don't want that. You don't want that life. It sucks.
But I thought he did a great job with it. I mean,
I think so too.
He played the creepy role, the Gabe role, but
But honestly, you saying that, it reminds me of the second one. I think the guy who played Michael Myers in the second one, I think did probably a better job with Michael, because I don't know. I mean, because I can remember to this day, him coming down the stairs when Laurie Strode is running, going to the fucking elevators and shit, or whatever the fuck she was doing. I can sort of remember how he looked when he was just walking slowly down that motherfucking steps and shit. That is still an iconic scene. It's still iconic.
That's what I love about some movies, because they're able to hit that expectation you desire, but then some people are cocky and don't realize what kind of masterpiece came out. Because you got the first one. The first one, 1978, that was an absolute gold. When we were younger, it was gold. It was amazing. It still is amazing. There's no denying it. I mean, it's an iconic movie. Without it, there's no telling what we would have. And the horror genre this day would be probably different than what we got. But I'm happy we got it. I'm happy 1978 came out with Halloween. I'm glad John Carpenter changed the idea to have it into a slasher movie instead of a series. Just probably, honestly, if he did the other idea, he would probably only have one movie come out besides the other movies he makes.
Speaking of that, he honestly only wanted to do one movie. He didn't even want to do the sequel to the movie.
But it kind of just, it was hard not to do.
I mean, he was kind of forced into doing it because how much money they made off the first one. It's he was kind of forced into doing the sequel. And, I mean, he said he half-assed it, but I mean, at the same time, I think it was better than the first one.
The second one?
Yeah, I think
so. But then again, we're more of the... We like the gore.
We like that blood, son. We get turned on by it.
Yeah, it's like, boom, and it's on. But the first one did a good job with suspense. And it had a few cool kills. I love one of my favorite scenes in top 10 favorite scenes is when he's poking his head out towards the end of the movie, and then he starts trying to kill her in the closet. I love that scene. That's also pretty iconic, because I mean, I never thought about killing someone in a closet if I was coming up with a movie. But I mean, it's gonna be a movie that's gonna always be in history.
The last 20 minutes of the movie was still iconic to me.
Same, but it was to me, it felt different when I watched the beginning scene, because I'll see the beginning, when you first meet Michael and you see the pictures, you're like, oh my god, that's the biggest iconic scene in slasher, even though it's not. It's just seeing him standing there without his mask and he's unfazed or anything. It's whoa, that is amazing. And then when we watched it, I was kind of
damn, he's a bitch boy.
Yeah. I didn't feel the aggression and oh my god, this is beautiful. I don't know why. Maybe it's just, I don't know. I know, I still look at the pictures of it, and I'm whoa, this is what I call an iconic scene. And then, I mean, some movies, I mean, you can look at pictures for a lot of movies and be I know exactly what happens in that scene. And that is definitely one of them. It might not look iconic to me or you when we watched it, but when we see a picture, we know what happened, we know why he's outside, and we know why his parents are about to freak out. And it's just like, you know, the iconic scene with Jason's mom getting her head cut off, or when, you know, Jason jumped out of the water and grabbed that bitch and drug her down the
Drag that bitch all the way down to the end of that motherfucking lake.
Yeah, I mean, like, those are scenes when you look at them, you're like, I know what's about to happen. Jason X, when he grabs that bitch by the back of his, or just seeing the scene where he sits up and looks at her, it's like, you know what's going to happen.
He's about to take that machete and shove that bitch's ass.
Yeah, like, that's probably one of my favorite kills in any horror movie, like, slasher movies.
I feel like that goes for a lot of people.
Yeah, but like Halloween, my biggest problem was the kills just, not all the, like, some of the kills, like when he used the pitchfork,
Pitchfork, come here, piggy.
But like when I saw when he picked up that pitchfork and stepped, that was Michael, right?
Yeah, pitchfork. That was in the fifth one. No, yeah, fifth one. It was in the fifth one.
Yeah.
Fifth one.
Like, that wasn't a great movie. It was not too good, but
fifth one can kiss my ass. The fourth one was good. Fifth
Yeah.
one.
fourth one was the one with the little girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was amazing. But the pitchfork scene was cool. The scene with Michael getting burned alive was cool. And, you know, like, in the first one, the 1978 one, I like the girl getting strangled. Like, you know, that's another, you know, part of the picture thing. Where it's like, you see him standing there with the glasses over his pillow like a retard. And you're like, I know it's going to go down here. It's just that great. And then you look at his other kills in the movie, and it's, I don't know, I just wasn't a huge fan of most of the kills in the movie, but I love the scene when he walks in to the, when she first runs into the room, and she sees one of her friends, I think, like dead body on the bed, and it has a sister, Jesse, Michael, something like that.
Which one are you talking about?
1978, when the girl we've been talking about in the last 20 minutes runs into the room and looks at her dead friend, and it has the grave.
Oh yeah.
Of her, of his brother, his sister.
Yeah, I know you're talking about the tombstone that he took from his sister's grave and put it on
the bed.
Yeah. Put I guess maybe, I don't know. I guess this kind of be like symbolism for his sister or something with that chick on the bed.
Yeah, but like that was a great scene. There was a lot of great scenes in the movie. You know, Michael never dies, so at the end of the day, the show must go on. And our part 2 of this one, I don't know when it's gonna, like, when we review episode 2 of the Halloween series, we'll probably soon, since we got nothing better to do.
Man, we motherfucking bums. I mean, you fucking copied me. It's like, you read my fucking mind. It's like, I'm about to say, I mean, you're like, I mean, and I'm just like,
well, I mean, that's how good our chemistry is, man.
we just,
It's like, kicks off like that.
we like Kickstarter Mountain Dew.
Yee. True.
I mean, honestly, though, like with Halloween, I was just thinking about this. I prefer, like I said, Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 over the original, and that's just because I feel like Halloween, the remake or whatever, was a lot more scarier, more gore, more blood, more horror. I think it was just more intense, and it didn't feel like the fucking Gabe. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I like about Rob Zombie in general, because he looks for, like, some of his movies aren't great, but he looks to have gore. He looks to have that psychopathic gore in it, like Thousands of Corpse. You know, like, there was a lot of kills in there that were just so amazing.
Yeah.
So it's like, when he makes movies, a lot of his movies aren't really that good, and if they're not, and if they are good, they're really good. Like, you know when they're not good and are good. but usually he has a lot of people that are rememberable from the shows or the movies he makes. Like,
Oh, yeah.
rest in peace, Sid.
Yeah, R.I.P.
But-
Captain Spaulding, my Nick.
Yeah, but he, you know, he's just great at that. And that first movie he made for Halloween was great. And then after that, it's kind of like the series kind of just went in a slope until it hit the new one. The new one, I think, resurrected the series a little bit more. But
Oh yeah, you just saying that. Of course, it did. Like, I mean, at first I didn't like that. Like, they were changing the storyline from there not being brother and sister. But I mean, honestly, that's the only thing they could do to make it a new movie, like a new storyline. Because it's just because it just. I don't know. It's because they basically did everything they could with the brother and sister storyline, so they had to come up with something more refreshing, just something different. So now, looking back at it, I agree that they should have done that.
yeah,
But at the time, I thought it was stupid. I mean, the movie was good. I love the movie.
yeah, I love it too.
I would put. I don't know. Like, to me, it's. I don't know if I should put it over the original movie or if I shouldn't put it over the original movie.
I have no idea.
And see, that's just. We're gonna have to figure that out when we get to that fucking movie. 'Cause
But
we got
honestly,
ways.
you know, maybe we will do a different movie, either tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah.
And, you know, we might. I think. What else series do you think should come out next?
Like that we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Like on this channel.
Should we do like? I don't know what, because working on Michael Myers is our Halloween type of thing. You know, you watch Michael Myers when it's that season, and when it's Spooktober, it's Halloween, Psycho. You know, your big boys that started it all.
the big cocks? You know.
Yeah, and then it's, you know, Friday 13th, of course, Nightmare on Elm Street, The Shining.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Like, phenomenal movies. But at the end of the day, Halloween 1978, in my opinion, I'm giving it out of 10 for the movie of itself. I'd say
Okay, how about this? You can rate it this way. Rate it if you was in 1978, and then rate it if you're in
Okay.
today's time.
so. In 1978, watching the film, let's say I watched it about 2 times to get a better, you know, aspect of it. Okay, so watching it at that era, I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. And the biggest problem being actors not being used. Because later on, when like the second one comes out and stuff, it's like, why was the doc not used?
You know, speaking of that, like you saying that, see, that's what I'm thinking. Like, would we feel that way though? Because like, think about it. If we're in 1978, I mean, this is the first film. We don't even know, you know, anything about the other movies at all, like with the Doctor and stuff.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like, just watching him in that movie, because he did a great job in that movie for the scenes he was in. So watching it twice, and actually sitting there and paying attention to the movie, I would be like, why did they not use this guy?
That's what I'm about to ask you.
And then same with the chick at the end of the movie that made the movie. I'd be like, why was she not utilized? Well, she was utilized through the movie, of course, but why not better than how she was? Because I think she did a good job through the whole movie, but nothing was as good as what happened at the end of the movie. And the doc and everything, he did a good job on all the little scenes he was in, but at that time, looking at it, not knowing about the second one coming out or anything, I would have been like, okay, why was this guy not used more? And then when I'll go to watch the second one, whenever it comes out, I would be like, there we go. This is the film. Because at that 1978, I would love suspense. I mean, Psycho was like one of the greatest suspense movies because of one scene. The shower scene will forever go down in history. Just like Michael Myers' theme song. It will never die off. And that's why, I mean, 7.8 out of 10, I would work. I'd say an 8 at that time. Because I would be pretty shabby in 1978 of all the spooky spooks. And then nowadays rating it, I give it about like a 6.5 because it's not.
It's a fair rating.
Because it's, don't get me wrong, phenomenal movie, but looking at the scenes now and looking at the idea, it's kind of like, I don't feel that scared, considering I've seen it so many times.
Do we know why, Daniel? Because we big boys now. We ain't
Right.
we ain't no little babies now. We grown ass men now.
We the big boys. No, man. But like, it's just, we've watched so many slashers, so many jump scares because of, all the paranormal movies, so many paranormal movies that it's kind of gotten to the point where those spooks that they try to give you in the movie just aren't there. Especially paranormal, because all paranormal movies are is jump scares, basically. They're the whole movie. I'm a suspense guy. Like, when I listen to music, I love the beginning, and the beginning will probably tell me the song. And that's what I look forward to. Like, when I listen to Candlemass, I can tell the song is going to be amazing because of the beginning. I like seeing what the bass is. When you see the bass, the rest can't be too bad. I mean, come on. Halloween 1978, baby.
1978, baby.
It was spectacular in that time.
But today, baby,
Hey, it's kind of spectacular.
yeah.
Because still looking at it, I will thank that movie forever.
We'll always appreciate the movie. Like,
I'll have my kids watching it.
of course.
My kids are gonna be like, "Yo, Dad, this movie is trash," and I'm gonna be like, "You don't understand."
Because you're fucking stupid.
And I bet when they grow up, I hope if I have kids, they grow up to be like me, which, not too much like me, but like have my mindset. Because sometimes you need to have the open mindset to know, to follow the path of life and to be happy, and you gotta be able to stand up for yourself more. And honestly, I'm just excited for our movie. And I'm excited for the next Halloween. And didn't you say Jason?
Shit, I don't remember. I think we gotta do Evil Dead. I think next. I think Evil Dead series should be next.
All right, so
Because fuck, we got Bruce Campbell on the fucking wall.
Right.
We got to.
yeah, and then also I think we should do a song. And I have an idea for that, but we'll talk about that when we're done with the camera. So expect our next video to either be top 5, or it's going to be a video over. Do you just want to do the whole Evil Dead series as one? Since it's only 3 movies, and since Michael Myers is like 30,000 movies, we can just go ahead and get 3 movies done. And plus, we remember most of the movies because we watched them together. And plus, the second one, it's hard to forget.
Yeah.
Third one, I think it's still kind of hard to forget everything, but I forgot a lot of them.
There's only like a couple scenes I remember, and that's the one where he comes out of whatever the fuck that shit was, where he sees those 3 books.
Yeah, that was a fucking great scene.
And then he's like a giant or whatever the fuck he is.
And then the first one,
Jesus Christ, we get off topic so fucking easily.
well, we're already done with the Halloween 1978, and basically, Evil Dead is the next series. We're probably gonna do all 3 in one. Probably just watch. Probably won't even have to watch the movie. Probably just see. We'll probably have to watch the 3rd one.
What Halloween? Or Evil Dead? I was even.
I was
I was zoned out.
Alright, but the Evil Dead series, next movie, we would probably have to watch just the 3rd movie and then we can record it. Because, I think that's about everything we really need.
Okay.
So what do you think?
On what?
The Evil Dead stuff. Damn, James, pay attention.
Man, I don't know. I've been working hard today. I mean, I'm down. I'll be cool with that. I think Evil Dead series would be good for us to cover, and it'd be really easy too.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we can remember pretty much all the shit. The only thing we didn't watch, like you said, was Evil Dead 3 because that's the one I don't remember that much from.
I remember that it was a good movie.
Yeah.
But I don't, and I remember his line. One of my favorite lines from the beginning of the movie with the boomstick that I got signed,
Yeah.
which I love.
How much
But
was that? Like $70?
I paid about $100 for everything in total.
God damn!
But it was worth it.
It was worth it, I guess.
100% worth it. But yeah, I think next is Evil Dead, and we just gotta watch Army of Darkness. I think, yeah, Army of Darkness.
But we gotta finish this Halloween stuff first.
But we won't get done with it until Halloween.
Oh yeah. Well,
So I mean, we should just do series.
I mean, we could do that.
All right. Well, I'm D. This is Jay.
Hey man.
James and Damien. Hyde and King James.
And King Ghidorah, you forgot that.
And King Ghidorah as well.
I forgot.
This was our review over 1978 Halloween, and we also added a lot of other things because we get off topic really bad.
You
and
fucking think.
honestly, y'all will have to deal with that, you know, through everything.
I mean, we be talking about fucking Michael Myers, and all of a sudden we talking about our fiance.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, but we'll eventually get better at talking. That's on topic, but that's our fault. That's how we
We
are.
just fucking suck at talking.
Yeah, we'll explain everything to each other after everything. But J&D podcast. Expect special guest on Tuesday or Wednesday. Wednesday. And if Hunter comes over, we'll have a 4-way. Wait. You know how
Alright, baby. Alright, baby. Just let me know, okay?
Well, this is all we got for y'all.